fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, real quick FYI, this video is going to be a little bit different than what I've done in quite some time. This is going to be a Q&A style video where I'll try to answer just a few basic questions that y'all been bringing up a lot in the YouTube comments, and also address some of the things in the game based on like where I stand as a content creator, and also try to clarify some things, inform y'all on things that y'all don't know, and overall maybe give you a state of the game, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of almost a behind the scenes look. So you stick around. Hopefully this gives you something and some answers, and hopefully you like it. If not, let me know in the comment section down below. I mean, maybe you hate it. I've spent a lot of times in the, I mean, honestly, I'll tell y'all a lot. I mean, this is a 70-hour-a-week job for me. And these past few months, it's turned into, you know, a lot of that has been helping y'all with tickets and escalating issues and problems in the game, me having to hit my own help button. But things keep coming up. For example, like this one. Now, Thomas is not the only person who made this comment. You can search through my YouTube comments, and I have thousands, which, by the way, thank you. I believe it or not, whether I respond or not, I do basically go and read through all of them. I simply can't respond to everything. Thomas says they should have used the valuable time to fix bugs and lag. That would help new players as well. This was in reference to the video I made about that little satellite building in there. You know, the one where we do the new little fun simulator. And I get it, right? This is a legitimate sentiment as a player. Now, from a practical standpoint, if you did not know, this is two different departments. Like the people who are making the battle simulator, the people who should be fixing bugs and doing quality assurance and all that, those are different parts of Scopely, or different parts of Star Trek Fleet Command's team, which they boast about having, you know, a lot of people. I mean, they boast about like, we have more people than World of Warcraft when it launched. I mean, that's not necessarily a good thing in my opinion. If anything, it speaks to the inefficiency of how they operate. But regardless, different parts of staff. So it's that mutually exclusive thing. Like, yes, this is true. Need to fix bugs and lag, which has become just a growing and growing problem. The more they add to the game, the worse things become, and it's definitely become more obvious over the past several months, if not just the past couple years for those who've been playing a while, right? And I definitely never try to come from a position of defense of Scopely. I'm not here to white knight for them, but I will also try to be accurate in when I bring things to y'all and from them, right? I mean, there are some things that just have nothing to do with anybody. For example, the bugs and lags, well, that's not the people doing Battle Simulator. It's not the people creating your events, right? It's just different folks. And I get this because at the end of the day, these comments that are coming out of frustration are coming because y'all want to enjoy the game. Like, you love this community, you love the people, and you want that to work. Like, you want all of this to be a thing. And that leads to comments like Mighty Gimps, who ended up having a pretty long conversation with him via YouTube comments, or them. I don't know whether they're male, female, or whatever. And I think they finally, you know, I'll say one thing, and some of this is like a mini Rev vent here. Content creators lately have been taking a lot of flack from some people, and in my opinion, undeservedly so. And look, there's only so much that we can actually do and control, right? And I'll just go ahead and be very open with y'all. I might be the largest content creator that's left, because Ripper, in my opinion, reached more via STFC.space. Not even opinion. You could have tracked his website stats. So sure, I've reached the biggest YouTube audience, Twitch audience, Discord audience, especially if you combine all those. But my power is not great. Like, I can't just sit here and make Scopely do anything. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't even have the best relationship with a lot of people at Scopely because of the style that I am. I'm definitely more of a maverick. I call out things that I think are BS very loudly. I'm not very tactful in how I say some things, and hell, many of them will say that themselves. I mean, there are a couple people that are at Scopely who don't even respond to my messages anymore, and that's fine. I'm not complaining. That wasn't a rant session. It's just, you know, the only voice I have is because of the players. And the only reason I do have some voice is because so many of you follow the channel. So number one, thank you. But it also is one of those that, like, I play the game and I'm frustrated like y'all are. And it sucks because a lot of things that get talked about, like boring, laggy, bad code of game, etc., I don't experience. And I don't even say that from like, again, not trying to defend Scopely. Like I literally, Samsung S21, no problems. PC client, no problems. I play on BlueStacks on 4 other accounts, no problems. But that doesn't mean that those problems don't exist. They clearly exist. I do a survey every month that thousands of y'all participate in, and I clearly see stability as a problem. So I actually kind of feel bad that I don't experience it. Every now and then, if you watch my streams, you'll see some lag and things like that. But generally speaking, I don't. But that doesn't mean that this is inaccurate. I mean, this is definitely an issue. And it is something that at some point, Scopely's got to realize that happy customers are spending customers. But here's the tricky thing, right? And these are probably numbers that I shouldn't be able to share or shouldn't even know, but I'll share with you. Beginning of the year, we know that they shared that they, had anywhere from 200 to 250,000 players every day, right? That doesn't count total accounts or active players in general. That's just how many logged on literally every day to play. Well, as of 12 days ago, that number is still basically the same. We did have 1 month where it dropped by about 5%. And that was back when the stability was really terrible a couple months ago. And then it came right back up. So it recovered based on the tracking that content creators and people who do a lot of this stuff on the outside do. So those players are still here. So frustrated or not, people are still here. And scary as this might sound, last month they sold like 60,000 battle passes. Now, that's definitely not a number that Scopely is publicly sharing. But if what people are spreading basically in terms of like the data they're parsing is accurate, it means that you have a large portion of this community that regardless of the issues, and that obviously is not VIPs. Like those aren't the people spending millions of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars a month. Those are people who are spending $20 a month, and very clearly high portion of this gameplay. And I am not trying to victim blame the players right now, but like if you're Scopely, the model's working. For better or for worse, like even with things being, as in my opinion, poor as they are, yet people keep spending. And as long as the actions that in this track is rewarded, as in new content continually being, millions and millions of dollars, of course they're going to continue to do it. And of course they're going to not put the emphasis on lag. And I do want to make one thing very, very clear, because this video basically is going to be a long rant / monologue, and I do kind of apologize. Every individual that I have personally worked with at Scopely truly cares about the players and wants this to be a good game. Every game designer, every live ops, the people who do the events, every customer support rep, not the triple bot. It sucks, but it's a bot. So the issue is the management, like what the higher ups are saying we got to do. And that's the priorities and why the priorities just aren't aligning. And that doesn't mean that they don't just whiff on a lot of things like they did with Troy. If y'all missed that whole thing where Troy just wasn't working. Now, of course, that got fixed expeditiously. Now, if you missed that one, well, I talked about it. Well, it got posted in the Discord. I did not go to the devs. And honestly, this might be another reason why the devs don't really like me. Because when there's player beneficial bugs, I don't talk about it. But Roy, one of the, his old Discord name was Roy. His name, it was about Old Man now. Old Man posted this one in the official Discord. Basically, Troy was allowing you to get rid of shields completely of hostiles, and that got fixed immediately. And then you get to this correlation thing. Well, if you did that, fast, how come you can't fix wave defense lag? And how come you can't fix stability issues? And it's a false correlation because it's two completely different things. Number one, yes, they should not have officers, especially basically a couple months in a row, because Carol Freeman was broken and works way stronger than they thought she would be. You should have all that rollout. That doesn't make sense for that to not roll out right. But it's just one of those that like, there's a continual frustration, right? And like all these issues happen, and then you'll see one that's player beneficial and it gets wiped immediately, right? So this brings you to another question. How have you played this game for as long as you have? This game has so many problems in it. It would take a week to list them all. Virtually unplayable at the moment. And it's like that way more than it should be. Well, let me just give you the straight skinny of a couple of just like transparent. Number one, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. That's why I got into this game. It's why I love this game. It's why I love the community. It's a bunch of nerds that I relate with. Two, you just want the full truth. This is my job. I'm a content creator. Now, I will say if you follow my stuff on Twitch, we play more than just Star Trek Fleet Command, War Thunder, Marvel Strike Force. We've been doing a freaking ant colony game lately. So it's not like I'm not trying to diversify and I'm just going to die on the hill of Star Trek Fleet Command. And that's why I'm more than happy to call them out. It's also why I've turned down multiple offers for them, because I don't want to be beholden to them, while at the same time I respect them for the work that they're doing. And I don't have any issue with somebody who does, go to LA and hang out with Scopely. Y'all go do your thing. It's just not for me. I don't feel comfortable doing that when my focus is to be a player facing, player led content creator. That's just what I want to be. That's just who I am. So with that, that's why I'm here. Like, it's not only something that I do because it supports my family, but I also enjoy this community. That also means that I ended up sharing and sadly taking a brunt of some of the frustrations that y'all have, which are legitimate frustrations. And I wish that Scopely was quicker to go through and respond to those, and quicker to rectify what are such egregious issues. And then you have what are running memes, and sometimes it's good to have that levity get inserted. I loved this comment from Tay about guarantee they'll start using the battle simulator footage in ads. If anything, I almost feel like it's reversed, like those were ads actually coming into the game and being a part of it. But either way, it's true. This game spends a ridiculous amount of money on marketing for NUA, or new user acquisition. Actually, if you work in business, one of the things they talk about is that it's cheaper to keep a current customer than it is to acquire a new customer. Yet Scopely as a whole, in a lot of mobile games, it's not just them, I actually operate from a model that is kind of counter to that. Now, I'm about to show you something that not many people will get to see, and just FYI, no, this is not me, and no, I'm not making this. But for example, this is an offer through Stream Elements. So this is for a mid-sized streamer to promote Star Trek Fleet Command. That's what they would get paid if they met all the milestones, $3,200. That's what one streamer would make, mid-size. I mean, so if you got like 5 followers on Twitch, you're not making $3,000. But just to give you an example of what it looks like, this is from a streamer that I know. $3,200 was what they would make if they got all of the, offers. And they would have had to, get like 200 people to do their links and sign up and all the other stuff. But this game spends a lot of money on acquiring new players and hoping that they can get those players latched into the monetization structure. And I think that's also part of the problem, is there's such a focus on that. You rely on new content like battle simulators, wave defenses, all these other things to be able to promote these different things and to be able to get people in. It's new, it's fresh, it's not a game from 5 years ago. There's all these things that are going into and playing into what makes this thing tick and makes this thing work. And it does kind of bring back to the point that I said before, with tens of thousands of people still, even during bad months, throwing out and buying battle passes and buying every prime that comes out and buying thousands of dollars into forbidden technologies. The game's going to continue to roll as it has. It's going to chug forward until at some point it hits a wall. And whenever that wall actually hits is kind of up to the players and up to Scopely. It's when y'all make the decision to say enough's enough. Like, if you really make that point that, what was it? The Mighty Gip said a couple of times ago, that if it's a boring, laggily coded game, at what point does that turn into people stop rewarding the game? And I'm not calling for a spending ban. I'm trying to open a open dialogue, conversation here, where I'm trying to let y'all know how things are, right? There's still over 200,000 people, and that is a lot for a mobile game. Go Google how much Dead by Daylight, a well-known PC game that if you go to Twitch or Kick or YouTube, any of the streaming platforms, has way more streamers, way more people who are following it daily and playing it in terms of like actively putting out content for, way more content creators for that game. You have like 80, 90,000 people at a peak that play it every day. The amount of people that play Star Trek Fleet Command as a mobile title is a ridiculous amount of people. That is a lot of people. And it's not as much as other titles. There are definitely titles out there making more. For those that don't know, Monopoly Go, which I shared in live streams and shared in my Discord, has been out for 7 months now, also owned by Scopely, has now crossed 1 billion in revenue. I mean, they made like a couple hundred million just last month. So Star Trek Fleet Command is no longer even the flagship of Scopely, and Scopely is, again, finding ways to make ridiculous amounts of money. But the point I'm making is that at some point, there has to come a point where players reach you need to change. But as we say all the time, it's, if you want something to change, you have to speak with your wallet. And I'm not calling for spending bans. I'm simply going to try to make content. Will I bring up issues? Absolutely. In fact, I don't know if pride myself is the right word, but for those who aren't in my Discord is one, I'm very thankful for all of y'all that are in there. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me because we have 25,000 people in my Discord. Like, that is literally the population of the city next to me. Now, y'all might live in way more populous areas than I do around the world, but that's a literal city of people. So that's insane. And almost all of them are Star Trek. Yes, we have Dead by Daylight roles and Legos and Diablo and all that, but most of it's Star Trek, Fleet Command. And part of my role this year has evolved into sharing news. Like here, this morning, I'm letting y'all know that if you're doing the event for the Battle Pass, you can't use the new Enterprise crew because they don't work. They don't let you record. And you go back a couple days ago, putting out good news that they didn't even tell, like, publicly, that they actually changed based on player feedback, the cube. Like, you no longer have that Ops 36 tier lock, which is fantastic that they made that change. And we've been doing a lot of that, where we do a lot of communication and letting people know what's going on. And, you know, we'll also post the ones that come from the official spots, and then we'll post the calendars out and everything. So anyway, it's been an evolving role. And again, part of this was to do a Q&A, and what I'll do after this, if you manage to make it through the 16, 17 minutes of this video, is I'll answer your questions if you have questions about the game. Don't worry about the NDA. I'll tell you if there's something NDA I can't say. You know, full transparency, the only thing that being an NDA content creator is in Star Trek Fleet Command is 1 week prior to each arc, they'll give us a rundown of what's coming next month. We do have access to live ops and game design that we could like reach out to, but so do the VIPs. So that's not necessarily something unique. And that's it. That is literally the extent. I get to give away 5 battle passes, and I also get a battle pass. Just transparency. I get a battle pass every month in the game, and I also get the rare officers. Don't get the epics, but I get the rares. They'll give me the rare officers every month. So Scopely does give content creators an NDA a little bit, and we give away battle passes in turn. And then 1 week prior, we have an opportunity to see the content. Now, many of us, like myself, Ultimate DJ, etc., have made connections with people inside the facility that we can get that earlier, right? Like I know me and DJ hinted at like G6 coming out many months ago. So there are opportunities to get more insight, but in terms of like what it really gives you is not much. So there's not much that I can really reveal. Sure, do I have an idea of a couple of the officers coming next month? Yeah. Can I tell you verbatim every feature? No, because Scopely keeps almost everything locked down. And that's their prerogative. I'm not even complaining about that. It's just, and the only things that I can't tell you is something they directly told me not to tell you. So anything that is semi-public knowledge that's out there, I'm more than happy to, you know, full transparency and give it all to you. Like I said, the number of players that play daily, we tracked that. And they haven't stopped that tracking. Shout out to Mend, who actually does a lot of that. There's more than Mend, but he just came to mind. Yeah, so I'll tell you all the things you need to know. And if y'all as players decide that enough is enough, cool. We'll talk about it. But if you ever wonder, why do I make content? Well, here's all your answers, right? Like, believe it or not, there are 200,000 plus players logging in every day. And for whatever reason, right or wrong, most of them are still pretty happy with the game. Like the surveys that I do say the same thing. They like the features, they like the officers, they like the content, they hate the stability, they hate the communications. That's been a theme for the past year since we started this. And the whole reason that I started the surveys was to get exact numbers of like, what do people really think? And that's the dirty truth of it. Generally speaking, people like this game, right or wrong, and they hate the issues, but they love the game. They love the community. That's hell what got me started in this to begin with. So there's your open forum down below. I don't even know how many people will watch this because it's definitely a different style of video. Do I hate the stability issues? Absolutely. Do I pass them along? Absolutely. Can I fix everything? No, I have no individual power. I can only have the voice that y'all have given me, which again, thank you for that. And now that I've rambled for almost 20 minutes, I'm going to wrap it up. And y'all drop down below. Whatever you want. I don't care what you got to say. Positive, negative, say whatever you need to say. And I'll try to respond to every comment that I can. If there's 300 comments in today's video, I will genuinely try to respond to every single one of them. I might have to pop an edible to do it, but we'll try. Hope you like this style. I haven't done a Q&A style in a long time, so I'm actually a little bit out of kind of practice on this. So apologies because this went way long-winded than I wanted it to. But should I do more of these? You let me know. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.